Captains approaching for the coin toss for Alcoa. .58 while in the court. 18, Thomas Manu. 63, Isaiah Emmert. 44, Eli Owens. 12, Eli Graff. And 52, JT Turner for your Highlanders. Number 4, Tyler Adkins. 11, Lucas Bowles. 13, Peyton Griffith. And 0, Desmond Bowling.
Good evening and welcome in to tonight's broadcast here at Scott County High School. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel, bringing you the call as your Alcoa Tornadoes traveled to the Highlanders of Scott County. And Scott, we're in for a great game tonight for Alcoa. It feels so good to be back after what felt like another long bye week.
Yeah, exactly, Heath. Just trying to get through that, and Alcoa's good and rested, getting ready for their final stretch. We got tonight. We've got Maryville next Friday night, then Union County and Kingston right after that coming up. Some big games coming up for Alcoa.
Absolutely, and if you're looking at that schedule and you're saying, wait a minute, I see on my schedule Scott, then Maryville, then Kingston, Union County. Well, where did they come from? Well, they came from earlier in the season. We were supposed to play them, but due to the weather and it getting postponed, they moved that game to a Monday. That's right, a Monday. So it's going to be a really quick turnaround over the next few weeks for the Tornadoes as they've got Scott, then they've got Maryville next Friday. That following Monday, they've got Union County. And then that Friday, they've got Kingston. So really going to have to make sure, Scott, over the next few weeks, these boys have eaten their Wheaties.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Stay hydrated, ready to play, and just stay in good shape, no injuries.
And there's no one better suited to help them with that than athletic trainer Peggy Bratt, who does an incredible job with the Alcoa Tornadoes team, making sure that they're ready to go each and every week. But, Scott, we talked a little bit about how we got here with the Alcoa Tornadoes. Let's take a quick minute before this game kicks off and talk about the Scott County Highlanders.
All right, thank you, Heath. Scott County coming in tonight at 0-7. Losses against Cumberland County, Eagleton, Clinton, Knox Central of Kentucky, Kingston, Whitley County of Kentucky, and a heartbreaker last week, a 1-point loss here at home against Union County. So that gives Union County a little bit of an edge over the Highlanders right now in the standings as Kingston leads. Alcoa currently in second, Union County, Austin East, and Scott at 0-2.
Yeah, still some big games as the season wraps up for a lot of region kind of shifting within the standings. So we'll certainly see how that wraps up. I imagine that Scott County Austin East game at the end of the year is going to be really pivotal about who's going to squeak in.
Swing a lot of things, especially between Union County and Austin East, and then also Union Scott. So it depends. But Austin East coming off a big win yesterday against Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, congratulations to the Roadrunners, their first win of the season, defeating Pigeon Forge. I believe the score was 14-13 was the final.
Correct.
But Scott, kind of going back to those Highlanders for a minute, 0-7, 0-2 in region play at the moment, averaging 16.8 points a game, allowing 38.7. You talk about that heartbreaker to Union County. Well, you know what? It's happened 2 years in a row, as 2 years ago, the game between them and Union was decided by 2 points. This year, decided by 1 point. They got inched a little bit closer. Even had an opportunity late in that game. In the final 2 minutes, got down to the 10-yard line. Was about to what looked like maybe score. It was 4th and 2 at the 10. They decided to go for it instead of kick the field goal and take the lead. And it ended up not working out as Union was able to make the stop, get the ball back, run out the clock, and win that game. And just a heartbreaker for the Highlanders.
Sometimes you just go with the odds. And if you've been driving the ball pretty well, that's what you want to go with. But sometimes a a team will make a good defensive stand. That's what happened to them on that fourth down, and we are where we're at.
Well, and the Highlanders are led by a new coach this season, the young man Billy Hall, a former quarterback of Scott County. And Scott, while it hasn't produced wins yet, it looks like he's building something really special here with these young men and getting them where he wants them to go, as he was one of the great quarterbacks in Highlanders history, had some of the greatest teams they've had when he was playing quarterback here. His family is from this area. His dad was a coach. His dad, and now I believe the district's over the district schools in Scott County. His sister at one time was a principal, so he just kind of felt like this was coming back home and being able to lead his Highlanders and get them back to where they need to be. So some promising things for them. And Scott, one thing to take away as well as we get ready for kickoff, last year they had 3 shutouts in one game where they only scored 3 points. So far this season, they've scored in every game at least 6. So the offense picking up for Scott County this year. The little squib kick that'll drop as Jamirius Abuhania will hit the turf and fall on that one to make sure Alcoa has possession as they start the game. Moments ago, you had the coin toss where Eli Graff, Jameer Turner, Eli Owens, Isaiah Emmert, and Ryan McCourt were the captains for the Tornadoes. Desmond Bowling, Peyton Griffith, Lucas Bolea, and Tyler Atking was the captains for the Highlanders. Scott County did win the toss. They deferred to the second half, and that is why the Tornadoes start this game with the football.
Yeah, smart play by Abahania as he just fell on the ball, didn't try to pick it up and run. Had too many people coming up on him, so just go ahead and let's start fresh.
So 1st and 10 now for the Tornadoes. It's quarterback Eli Graff handing the football off to Micah Jones. Micah Jones looks like a shoestring tackle, will fall forward and pick up 3 on first down.
And Heath, for those that were not able to make the trip tonight, a beautiful sunset behind it, or in front of us, falling behind the Alcoa bench, as it is a clear sky out here tonight at 57 degrees here in Huntsville.
And also, Scott, for those tuning in, our only broadcast tonight will be live on YouTube. So if any point during the time you're watching the game you have any troubles and are unable to watch the game on the stream, you can also check out our social media for updates. As a moment ago, the Tornadoes throw it out to the right and complete it to the Michigan man himself, Eli Owens, on the catch, and Owens will pick up the first down.
Complete to Owens.
So a 1st and 10 for the Alcoa Tornadoes. That puts the football at the 47-yard line.
Alcoa first down and 10 at the 47.
We've got 2 receivers out to the left. That's Jacoby Cooper and Abuhania. Looks like Dean out to the right of the formation. It'll be Micah Jones getting it to the right side, bounces off the tackle, cuts it up the field, and taken down. It'll be 2nd down here in a moment.
Jones with the carry. Stopped by.
Yeah, good carry from Jones. That's 2 that he's gotten about 5 or more yards on his carries. Just going to continue to let Alcoa's offense just drive the ball down the field.
So 2nd down for Alcoa. Graff will get the snap. There's the handoff. It's Micah Jones with it again. He'll bulldoze himself ahead, and he'll pick up another first down. So right now, Alcoa just kind of taking their time, methodically moving down the field here in the first offensive drive and having success picking up at least 3 to 5 yards every time someone touches the football. And Micah Jones, Scott, one of these young running backs we're really excited about, had the opportunity 2 weeks ago to give him the Print FX Player of the Game.
And well deserved.
Yeah, had a really good game that night. 2 rushing touchdowns for the Tornadoes. Also made some big stops defensively. One that we thought was an interception, but we got him on the headset,
yeah.
And he told us the truth. I appreciate his honesty. I did think he caught it, but he told us he did not. It was incomplete, but at least he broke it up. So 1st and 10 for Alcoa. It'll be Jones who will stay in the backfield to the left side of Graff. Little trips bunch formation on the left side of the offensive line. Dean still out by himself, single side to the right. Graff will drop back, turn and look, and as soon as they get going, there is a penalty, and you are correct, Scott. That'll be a false start in the Tornadoes.
The penalty, the call start against Alcoa, it will be first down 15, following the walk-off.
We're getting just a little too excited here on play number 1. It'll be 1st and 15, ball on the 45. Highlanders come into tonight running a 4-2-5 defensive scheme. They'll be running out of the pistol when they're on offense. Tornadoes back to it. They split that, trips out a little further now to the left side. They'll turn, they'll fire, they'll complete to Jacoby Cooper. Cooper cuts up the field, misses one tackle, can't miss the other, but it does take two Highlanders to bring him down. He'll get past the original line of scrimmage, pick up a few more after that.
Yeah, good move as he kind of juked a little bit that first defender and then had to try to cut it in between two other defenders, just not able to get past them.
11-yard pass and catch there between Eli Graff and Jacoby Cooper. It's now 2nd and 4, so a much more manageable situation here on 2nd down for the Tornadoes. Graff gets a snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, looks around. He's going to chuck it down the field. Does he have a man? Bouncing off, almost intercepted as it was intended for Jacoby Cooper. Scott had Eli Owens really wide open out there in the flats near the sidelines, but decided to take the deep shot and just a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, it looked like he just waited a little late to throw it because the ball was, like you said, underthrown right there and almost intercepted. Good play from the defensive back trying to get up there for it. It looks like if he had thrown it probably a little sooner, then he probably could have had the receiver running under it in stride than having to come back.
Yeah, a little bit of what appeared to be maybe a corner route to that side of the end zone. As Alcoa hands it off here to Micah Jones. He breaks through, he gets to the second level, breaks another tackle, almost throws off the next one, and will fall near the 15. I think it's going to be officially the 16 where they mark it, but a big first down for Alcoa. But Scott, going back to that last play, while that pass was thrown late, and you were talking about the defender almost coming down with an interception, I almost would say even better play by Jacoby Cooper, as the defender who was trying to go up with it, he kind of, little shoulder kind of checked him a little bit as he was starting to go up to kind of just throw him off and make that a little bit more difficult to catch, and I think it assisted in him not coming down with the INT. So now it is first down for Alcoa, ball at the 16. It'll be a pass, out, caught, that is Dean on the catch.
And it looked like Dean's legs just kind of went out from under him. He slipped about the same time the defender got there, so it made the hit look worse than what it really was. He just continued bringing him down.
Yeah, tried to do a little bit of the matrix there, avoiding the defender, and just couldn't quite keep it up like Keanu Reeves. As it looks around to be around a 9-yard pass from Graff. It's now 2nd and 1. Micah Jones in it, running back. Dean and Owens out to the left of the formation. Abuhanya and Cooper to the right. There's the snap. He'll look to pass again. He'll throw into the end zone. He's got a man. It's Eli Owens. Caught. Touchdown.
And that's one they've been trying to work on for a while, just not been able to get there to it, because usually Owens is double teamed and covered extremely well. So glad to see Eli was an Eli to Eli on that one there.
Yeah, that's his, I believe, his 18th reception of the season, Scott. Last year he had 5 touchdowns receiving. This year he's only has 1 coming into tonight, so picking up his 2nd TD of the year. And now it is Kyron Tyson awaiting the extra point. There's the snap, and we've got a penalty mark.
And offsides against the Highlanders.
So we'll get ready for another opportunity here. There's the snap. Here's the kick. It is up, and it is good. So your score with 7:46 left to go in the first quarter, it is Alcoa 7, Scott County 0. So a good opening drive for the Tornadoes.
That it was, Heath, and Alcoa just taking the ball methodically, carefully, using some time off the clock. 7:46 left, as you said. So great job for Alcoa there to get some points on the board and just kind of start building up, because they got to get ready for next week too. But Scott County's not going to go down without a fight either.
Well, and also Scott.
Or Scott. I call him Scott County from prior, but yeah, it's Scott.
Well, and some other information here just when it comes to regional play. Number 1, the Tornadoes looking to continue their win streak, 62 consecutive region wins in a row. Get this stat. I was able to find this one earlier in the week, and it was on our graphic today. Over the past 5 years, the Tornadoes have outscored their regional opponents 944 to 80.
Wow. That almost sounded like Coach Pat Summitt's record.
I would say also maybe sound a little bit like Coach Rankin's record back.
Yeah, it's almost.
Which, speaking of Coach Rankin, he is not too far away from career victory 500. I don't know if he'll get it this season. It may be early next season, as that one near the end zone and taken down at the 15. So not a great return for Scott County. You almost wonder there, Scott, if for a moment he kind of viewed it like a punt, where it just kind of died and he wasn't really sure what to do with it. And then,
well, he backed off. He backed off on it, thinking it was going to bounce into the end zone, and he let it. When it hit, it went straight up and started to come out. He realized, I got to get this ball, so he did. But at that point, Alcoa was already down the field on him.
Well, good kick for Kyron Tyson, and able to kind of throw them off and now pin them deep. And the Highlanders will run it out to the right side. That was number 12 on the carry. That is, looks like, I believe, Dawson Spradlin on the carry.
And I believe Sennett was on the tackle there for Alcoa.
This time they'll draw back, they'll look to throw, out and complete. So the pass was caught. It's now going to be 3rd and long for Scott County.
Yeah, it looks like about, pardon me, about 3rd and a long 5.
So 3rd and 5, running back to the right of the quarterback, trips out to the left with a single receiver to the right. They'll turn, and looks like a halfback draw that will go nowhere as the Tornadoes are ready and close that gap quickly.
Yeah, a small gap on the right side for the Highlanders, and the Alcoa linebacker just waiting, saw that open up and closed it quickly.
Yeah, look like Kate Stinnen and Blair Goodson there helping make the tackle. It's now going to be 4th and 6. There's a snap and just is able to avoid the heavy rush of the Alcoa punt return team. And this one will take a Highlander bounce roll past the 50 and down at the 48. And that is where the Alcoa Tornadoes will take over on offense.
You mean that's not the 52?
I know we had someone tell us recently they were listening to not ours, someone else's broadcast, and the broadcaster said the player was down at the 52-yard line.
Yeah, that's what I said. Was he watching Canadian football?
Hopefully you won't hear that tonight other than moments ago. We'll try to make sure we know what our yardage is and keep you informed throughout the evening here on YouTube, as that's the only way we're streaming tonight. And we certainly appreciate you all tuning in. As Graff rolls out to his right, completes it to Jacoby Cooper. Jacoby Cooper breaks one tackle, gets close to the first down marker. I believe it's going to be just short. We'll see. Nope, looks like they're going to give it to him.
So they're going to give him the 10.
And Scott,
but Jacoby getting a lot of tosses tonight.
Yeah, well, Jacoby's a young man that, I mean, we saw 2 weeks ago in the West game really kind of proved to be a pivotal player, as they were kind of focused a little bit more on what Eli Graff and Eli Owens was doing. And then Jacoby Cooper making a lot of clutch catches and being a really kind of safety valve target for Eli Graff, as it's Condis Cherry on the carry.
And we got a flag about the 38-yard line.
Looks like it may be in the area of a hold.
Yeah, Graff has already motioned the offense to come back.
There's a penalty marker on the play. The penalty is holding against Alcoa. Following the marking of the penalty, it will bring up first down and 15 at the 47.
So it'll bring up 1st and 15 due to the holding call. Cherry still in the backfield with Graff. Alcoa will fake the run. Graff will look down the field. Sees a man. He's got a man, and it's got a touchdown.
Yeah, there you go.
As Jameer Dean walks into that pass and ends up in the end zone. And Scott, that was a beautiful throw.
Yes,
by
it
Eli
was,
Graff.
and exactly what I talked about. Lead him into the catch, which is what he did. It was a beautiful throw by Graff. Great catch by Dean, and 6 points for Alcoa.
So the Tornadoes quickly strike for their 2nd touchdown of the evening. And now Kyron Tyson getting ready to kick this extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 4:45 left to go in the first quarter, it is Alcoa 14, Scott County 0.
All right, Heath, and while we're waiting for the kickoff from Alcoa, let's give our listeners a little bit of information about Scott High School. They're located in Huntsville, Tennessee. Nickname is the Highlanders. Their colors are scarlet and silver. Head coach Billy Hall, his first year. He's a 2017 graduate of Scott High and also a graduate of Reinhardt College out of Georgia. Their rivalry game is Kingston. They played that this year on the 20th of September. It was a 51-21 loss to the Yellow Jackets. Their last game was versus Union County on October 11th. That was a 29-30 loss as well. They are the Division I 3A or Division I 3A Region 2 team. Current record 0-7, 0-2 in region. Region games again, Kingston and Union County. Remaining games other than Alcoa is Pickett County, Tennessee, and Austin East. Austin East game will be on the 1st of November. That is a region game.
Tornadoes booted away. And this one, Scott, will be fielded and returned to the 15, to the 20, and getting close to the 25. Desmond Bowling is the one that returned that. And Scott, much better field position for Scott. We'll see what they can do with it.
I think that was about where they ended up before they punted last time. So a little further out this time, like you said.
Well, and really, I mean, while it wasn't a whole lot, they did have some minimal success, able to move the ball a little bit on that first drive. And that's what I'm talking about. You've got a young coach here who specializes in that, was a former quarterback, really kind of taking the things he's learned as he also went on to play collegiately as well, and then has played some kind of professional football in the CFL, and trying to help see if he can teach some things to these young men and help them run a potent offense as they continue to grow within it. But on the first play from scrimmage, they'll hand it off, and it'll be for a loss.
Yeah, it looked like a little indecision between the quarterback and the running back, and by the time the quarterback finally handed it to the running back, the Alcoa defense was already back there.
So it's now 2nd and 13. Give the snap, the quarterback will turn, he'll throw it, and it's almost picked off. That was Condis Cherry who was able to jump that play, just couldn't quite hold on to it.
Yeah, it looked like Condis, when he came up for it, had it in his hand, his arms maybe were a little crossed because it looked like he twisted a little bit, and that's when the ball just came right out of his hand. But good read right there from Condis as he saw exactly what was happening.
And it looked too, Scott, it almost kind of looked like Condis's body kept moving in forward motion and the ball just kind of stayed in place. And he was like trying to reach back and pull it in and just couldn't bring it down. But a great read by Condis, and forces an incompletion on the throw from Pivot. As Pivot now will hand the football off. Nothing doing by the running back. That was Dawson Spradling on the carry. Lost a few more yards on the play, and now we'll bring up a 4th and long and force the Highlanders to punt yet again as Jacoby Cooper back near the 43-yard line waiting to receive the punt. Almost blocked, punt is away. That's twice now the Tornadoes have gotten close. It was Darius Sutterth on that one who almost came away with it.
Yeah, Alcoa's come close twice now, and just about, like you said, getting there to get that blocked, but the kicker able to get it out just in time.
Yeah, both times it's kind of come from that right side headed towards the punter. And he's kind of had to angle his punts to get his foot away from those guys coming after him to be able to get it off. And so now the Tornadoes here in the first quarter already on their third offensive drive with 2:54 left to go in the first as they lead 14-0. Micah Jones back in the ball game at running back. And a fake handoff to Jones. They'll throw. It's complete to Abu Hanya. Good catch by Jamirius as he was kind of running that slant route inside, thrown behind him and able to kind of contort his body and pull that one in.
Yeah, good concentration and good hands right there, as that was a really hard catch to make.
It's going to bring up second and short for the Tornadoes. Abu Hanya will come out and take a breather. Looks like Damari DeVos comes in his place. With DeVos, Scott, you've got to look out for that speed, as sometimes they'll bring him in motion on the jet sweep as they'll turn and instead hand it off to Jones. Jones cuts out to the outside, a little juke, a little jive, turning on the Jets and bulldozing defenders until eventually it takes a few of them to escort him out around the 10. They're going to say the 11 is where he officially went out of bounds. Good run by Micah.
Oh, yeah, definitely a good run right there, as he was able to just find the gaps that he needed, get through there. What they're doing now, I do want to say one thing, and we may have said this when we were last here, but this field is really nice. I like the look of this field.
Yeah, I believe they installed this offseason some artificial turf. We've seen a lot of teams in Knox and Blount County and surrounding areas kind of go to that, and yeah, it looks gorgeous. I actually mentioned that to one of the staff before the game. I saw upstairs in the press box and let them know too. I was like, man, this looks fantastic. That pass falls incomplete for the Tornadoes. It brings up second and 10. Jones in the backfield. Eli Owens off to the left side of the line, split back. Groff will turn, hand it off that way to Jones. Jones will push ahead. Close to the end zone. I believe they're going to down him. Looks like from this angle around the 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, from the angle anyway. Yeah, 3-yard line, just outside the 3, between the 3 and the 4.
Yeah, and it looks like too, it's 3rd and 2, so you could get a first down without scoring if you needed it, but Alcoa just needs 3 yards now to get into the end zone. And they'll let Micah have another opportunity, and Micah will find his way into the red rectangle of the Highlanders and score another touchdown for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, he needed that one. He's been doing all the work all the way down the field for this one, so everyone's going to share the wealth here a little bit tonight.
Well, rewarding Micah Jones with a touchdown, and the 3rd touchdown of the night for the Tornadoes.
Okay. I thought there was somebody down at first. It was just a shadow and some pretty white shoes.
Tyson back to kick. There's the snap. It's down. The kick is up. The kick is through the uprights. And now your score with 1:26 left to go in the first quarter. It is Alcoa 21, Scott 0. Scott, while we have a little break in the action, one of the things I just kind of wanted to give a little shout out to is, number one, our sponsors sponsoring the broadcast tonight. We've got a lot of great sponsors that allow us the opportunity to be able to live stream these games to you so that you can watch them and see how your Tornadoes are doing each and every Friday. So we appreciate that. And also, Scott, a shout out to Black Horse Pub and Brewery, the host of our new show, Tornado Live, on select Wednesdays throughout the rest of this year. We had our first one this past Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of great special guests on the show.
We did, exactly, Heath. And I want to thank the listeners that chimed in to us to let us know, too, that they watched it and how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah, had some great coaches on the air for those that missed it. We had Coach Chad Coker of the Alcoa golf team. He brought a friend with him. It was none other than the senior Jack Smeltzer, who just came off another state appearance in golf. One of the impressive things about him, Scott, all 4 years playing golf, he made the state tournament. So a really talented young man who, after speaking with him, I think he's going to have a lot of success at the next level as he looks to play collegiately as well. Then we had an opportunity to talk to Coach Pam Haggard about the cross-country season, how they're doing so far. The boys won the Blount County Championship. The girls were runners-up. I think they've got one more meet before they get into regional conference championship play as they move kind of throughout the season. So it's kind of winding down, but having a really good year so far. And then last but not least, Coach Gossett, friend of the program, offensive line coach for your Alcoa Tornadoes, and also the head wrestling coach. We talked a little football, talked a little wrestling, and then it wrapped up the show for week 1. We'll be back next Wednesday night, and folks, I'm telling you, it's one you're going to want to come out to, is we're going to have a pep rally for the Maryville Alcoa week. As Scott County here on offense looks to throw, nothing doing. He has to pull it in, and he is sacked.
Yeah, he turned to make that throw and saw a leaping tornado in front of him. Could not get it past him, had to tuck it back in, and by the time he did, he was swarmed over.
A good play by the Alcoa Tornadoes, bringing him down for the sack. A big loss on and it's now 2nd and 17. There's the handoff, and another play by this Alcoa defensive line.
Yeah, that front three is not letting anything. And if it gets close to the line, they're getting on it quickly.
It was number 48, Kenny Harris, on the tackle. I believe the same player who had the sack a moment ago on the quarterback as well. Kenny Harris, a 6'3", 250-pound defensive lineman. And it is now 3rd and 15, so they'll say a minimal gain by the running back. They try to get the Tornadoes to jump. The Tornadoes did creep up to the line, but they did not jump past it. So now the quarterback turns, looks, and gets the new play call from his coach as they adjust, see what they can do on 3rd and very long. Rolling out of the pocket is pivot. He'll turn, he'll complete it.
And good hands from the Highlander there as he was able to yank that ball out of the hands of the defender.
Yeah, Gage Pivot able to complete that pass to Dawson Spradlin. And Spradlin, with, as you mentioned, Scott, the great hands to be able to hold on to that after getting hit and pull that ball in. So with that catch, they go from 3rd and 15 to 4th in what appears to be 2. So it is now the end of the first quarter and decision time for the Highlanders. Scott, if they don't get it, they give Alcoa a very short field position, but you're down 21 already as we begin the second quarter. I think you go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. You got to look at it this way. Either way, if you don't make it, you're going to give Alcoa the ball back. If you kick it and punt it, you're going to give it back to them anyway. So you're in pretty much close to midfield. Might as well give it a shot.
Now, if only all coaches thought the way you did on 4th down.
If only.
So we'll flip field now as they'll move to the other side. And no break taken, Scott, as really both teams were ready to kind of get back to it. They didn't want to waste any time, and so we're not going to take a break. The second quarter now is underway, and they've decided they're going to punt it. And there they go. That was Kenny Harris, that time almost coming away with the block. That one will take a Highlander roll and go out at the 36, and that is where the Tornadoes will take over.
6-yard line for Alcoa will begin. First down and 10.
While they're doing that, we'll take a quick look, too, at Region 2 3A standings. Again, Kingston 3-0, Alcoa 1-0, Union County 1-1, Austin East and Scott both at 0-2. Again, Austin East plays Scott County on November 1st. Austin East still has Union County, which they are, I believe, are playing tonight. Or no, they'll play next week. And then Scott County, or Scott. Union still has Austin East and Alcoa. Alcoa, of course, Union County, Scott, and Kingston. And Kingston's only remaining region game is Alcoa on the 1st of November.
A fake handoff and a throw across the middle is complete to Jameer Dean.
Pass from Graff, complete.
Dean will be brought down at the 47-yard line and a first down for Alcoa.
Shot by Bowling.
Yeah, and Alcoa so far running the ball really well, but also trying to get into a good rhythm with the passing game too. Get some timing down a little bit.
Well, and this is a great opportunity too here with this lead you have to try to work out some of those kinks, as you've got a really big ball game next week against the Rebels of Maryville High School. And now it's Condis Cherry on the carry. He had a carry earlier, called back to a hold. No penalty here. This one will stand, and it'll be 2nd and short.
Yeah, always frustrating to get a really good run and then realize you're coming back.
Especially when you score a touchdown.
Oh, I know it.
I've been there.
Yeah, I remember that one.
2nd and 2 for the Tornadoes. Condis will stay in the game at running back beside Graff. Eli turns, delivers it out to Owens in the flats. Owens gets past one. Cooper trying to set up a block for him. He'll get past the block. He'll move forward, and they'll tackle him ahead near the 20. They'll say the 21 is where they will down him at.
Yeah, and Eli, very solid. Eli Owens, very solid player. Hard to bring down, and they had to really get up to him quickly as he's like a locomotive going through there.
I think that's his 3rd reception of the game, but just trying to double check in here in a minute with my man Coulter. We'll find out officially what that is. 3rd, yeah, so 3rd reception of the game so far for Eli. Having a good night so far. You know, Eli Owens has not won Player of the Game this year.
I know.
Just a little early tidbit for you to think about. Trips to the left. They'll send Condis out that way. They'll turn and throw it to him and set up a screen. There goes Condis Cherry, bounce to the outside. The speed is electric, and he'll continue to move past the first down marker. Taken down. 10 yards away from the end zone. Let's see, it's inside the 10. I think at the 7 is where they'll spot it. It's hard to tell from here. We apologize.
Yeah, it looks like just inside the 7-yard line here.
We've got kind of a wall here that sometimes
right
blocks
at
our
it.
view, so I have to go in and out of the press box to make sure I can see on this side. Yes, the 7-yard line is where it'll be, and it will be a first down. So 1st and goal, 7 yards away from Pater. 9:30 left to go in the 2nd quarter. 2 receivers to the right, single receiver to the left. See if they reward Cherry here. No, they'll fake it, they'll throw it, and bat it away, incomplete.
Yeah, Tyler Atkins gets his hands up as Graff is trying to throw the ball, knocks it down, makes it 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, looked like he was trying to get it inside to Jalen Pinson on the throw, but batted away, and it'll bring up 2nd down. We'll see now, Scott, if they decide to go to the run. See if they can get Condis his 1st touchdown of the day. They will give him the football. He'll go to the right now, cut it back up the middle. He's not going to get the first
we got a flag
the
coming
touchdown.
out.
He'll get taken down near the 5, and yeah, there is a penalty marker thrown in near the heap.
Yeah, it looks like during the tackle, so I'm not sure if it might be against the defense on this one. Or no, Alcoa is backing up a little bit. Block in the back.
So block in the back, and Alcoa will send them in reverse. Make this touchdown drive a little bit more difficult.
2nd down goal at the 15.
So now 2nd down and goal from the 15-yard line for the Tornadoes. 9:08 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Heath, this just opens up the passing game a little bit more for Alcoa.
It does, and it does look like they're actually going to mark it at the 16-yard line is where the football is placed. So now they'll come out and we'll see this air attack again. That's had a lot of success so far today. You've got Dean out by himself to the right, Trips to the left, Cherry to the right side of Graff. Graff will drop back. Cherry will be there for max protection. He'll turn and throw. It's complete. Oh, no, and running before he had possession of the football. That was number 11 for the Tornadoes. That was Tyson Dorsey, the sophomore. And, Scott, if he had just caught it first and then taken off, I think he would have scored.
Yeah, he would have had a really good chance right there. Just you got to make sure that ball is in your hands before you take off.
Well, a missed opportunity, but that's all right. He'll get more chances. It's now 3rd and 15 for the Tornadoes. 8:46 left to go in the 2nd quarter, and Alcoa 15 yards away from trying to score. But again, 3rd and 15. So if they're unable to score on this one, you have to imagine Mr. Kyron Tyson will come out to attempt his first field goal of the night. Trips to the right, 2 to the left.
Then we have a offsides on the Highlanders as one of the defenders was ready to get there quickly. It looks like it was Tyler Adkins on the defensive end, left defensive end. Don't blame him. I try to get back there to that quarterback as quick as I could too.
Agreed, but when you're playing a team like this, the Tornadoes, the last thing you need to be doing is giving them yardage for free after they shot themselves in the foot.
At getting people to jump anyway.
Agreed. Just you have to know that coach is frustrated after pinning Alcoa to 3rd and 15, giving them a little bit of a break in yardage here, so a little bit more manageable. A couple yards difference as it's now 3rd and 12. Dropping back is Graff, surveys the field. It's got a man. It's Eli Owens, and that's his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, good catch from Eli. He had to stop and wait and then turn just a little bit back to the ball as he was able to catch it and then just spin real quick right on into the end zone.
Scott, I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to go back to that stat now. Coming into tonight's game, only 1 touchdown offensively going into this game, and he's already doubled that tonight with 2 reception touchdowns. So congratulations to him, and it only strengthens my case I made a little bit earlier as a potential player of the game.
Still early.
The extra point attempt is good, and with 8:40 left to go in the 2nd quarter, 28-0, your score. I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to jump over here to my guy Coulter's stats and see how those are going so far and just give you a little bit of updates. Eli Graff having a good night, 10 of 14, 160 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards per pass and completing 71% of his passes. Also, Micah Jones having a fantastic evening, 7 rushes for 70 yards. He's got a rushing touchdown. Eli Owens, 4 receptions for 51. Jameer Dean, 3 receptions for 75. Eli Owens has 2 reception touchdowns. Jameer Dean has 1. The Tornadoes, 238 total yards of offense so far tonight. So those are just a little bit of the statistical breakdown for you so far today. And I told you 238 total yards of offense for Alcoa. Let's take a look at Scott's real quick. So 238 total yards of offense to 6. So a great stand by the defense so far tonight. This one will be caught and returned. And after colliding with a defender, getting flung ahead is the Highlander. And past the 25, and the Highlanders back in action on offense.
And once again, a little bit more yardage on the return each time so far for the Highlanders. So this time getting the ball out to about the 28-yard line.
We've seen a good showing so far, just an effort from the sophomore Gage Pivot at quarterback as he'll hand this football off.
Yeah, nothing doing for him right there as he loses a yard.
Looks like, I believe, Lucas Newport, number 3 on the carry there.
It's 2nd down.
As Alcoa is packing the box here and just committed an offsides as Owens was ready to get to the quarterback. Unfortunately, the ball had not been snapped yet.
Well, it looked like it was Owens and Cade Stennett both who were a little too excited, and both of them jumped and knew it the minute they did it. So a free 5 yards for Scott County as they get a little revenge after Alcoa, after the penalty they gave up earlier.
So now it looks like 2nd down and 6 for the Highlanders. 7:50 left in the 2nd quarter.
Pivot turns, gets the call from his coach from the sidelines. He'll get the snap. He'll drop back. He's got a little bit of time. Delivers it to the outside and broken up as there to defend with Stinnett and also DeBose coming in, getting a hand in there and breaking that one up as the pass was intended for number 10. That is Gus King.
Yeah, Alcoa keying a little bit right now on the fact that Scott's passes have been just short, kind of quick passes right now, nothing downfield.
Well, that's the thing though, Scott, and with this kind of ferocious defense in Alcoa, probably those short passes are what you need to do to try to prevent your quarterback from getting hit and allowing your wide receivers an opportunity. As this one a little too far outside and out of bounds, intended for Spradlin, and it'll be an incompletion, but Scott, there is a penalty flag thrown.
Looks like it would be in the vicinity of a hold. Let's see what the referee has to say about it.
Looks like maybe a chop block.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, the way his
hands came out, kind of looked like he was saying chop block to the other referee.
Yes. Is declined by Alcoa. It will now be 4th down.
The penalty this time. It brings up 4th down.
So 4th down and 6 for the Highlanders. And
here comes the punt team.
Exactly.
So, Scott, despite the fact that it has been kind of a rough night for Scott County so far today, I just want to again give a shout out because I like what I see. It looks like they're trying to run some solid plays. It's just a matter of continuing to increase the execution. But I think young sophomore Gage Pivot has a really bright future. We'll see what his coach can do with him, the former quarterback himself, who's got a lot of experience at the position. And some of the players we've talked about tonight, also, you've got some juniors in the mix as well. So a team that's going to have a lot of players coming back next season to build upon.
Yeah, they're going to continue to grow and continue to grow under Coach Hall as well.
One of the things, too,
I like. A team like Alcoa, though, they're a swarming type defense, so it's hard to really get anything going sometimes.
One of the things, Scott, I was reading this week about Coach Hall that I really liked, too, is he really understands from growing up here, too. He told them, he said, it's got to start at 6th grade, and we've got to make sure we're building that foundation. They're letting him help have a hand in who was hired as the middle school coaches and then what system they were going to run as well as those feeder schools feeding in to Scott County. As a completion for the Tornadoes here leads to a 1st down. It was Damari DeBose on the catch.
Yeah, like you said, though, the feeder programs are extremely important, not only to help develop, but also to help fundamentally get the kids ready for some of the plays that they're going to be seeing in high school, so they're already getting a head start.
Well, and he talked about, too, just kind of building that rapport with those middle schoolers and relationships so that when as they're growing through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, they want to come up to this next level and play for the Highlanders. There's another pass completed by Graff, this time to Jamirius Abuhanya for a Tornado 1st down.
Yeah, some good quick feet from Abuhanya as he was able to juke and jive a little bit, get a little extra yardage than what he would have originally gotten.
So a 13-yard play leads to another 1st down. The ball will be at the 40-yard line. 6:55 and counting on the clock here in the 2nd quarter. It's 28-0. The Tornadoes looking to get it to 35. If they do and we get to the 2nd half, Scott, you know what that means.
Your favorite part of the ballgame.
As it's the handoff to Mr. Micah Jones, and Jones with a really good carry around the left side of the line and bounces down the field, tiptoes the sidelines, and then gets taken out of bounds. Tornadoes now at the 21-yard line.
And Jones now 8 carries with 98 yards so far. Thank you, Coulter.
So it will be the 21 where they mark it. Jones still in the backfield with Graff. He'll get the snap. He'll also get the ball. And there he goes. Micah Jones bulldozing ahead, gets past another, tries to rip out of the shoestring tackle, cannot, and will fall ahead at the 5.
Yeah, Micah probably wondering right then why he tied that shoe so tight.
Good tackle by the defender, keeping him from scoring. but it will make first and goal at the 5-yard line. The last time Alcoa got near the goal, it had a penalty or two that kind of moved them in the wrong direction, but they were able to overcome and score the touchdown. There's a snap. Graff looks back. He's got a man out, and I believe that is...
And he's in.
I believe that is Pinson. No, it's Dorsey. Excuse me, Tyson Dorsey on the catch, the sophomore. And Scott, I said earlier that Mr. Tyson Dorsey would have an opportunity to redeem himself after that catch on the sidelines where he kind of took off before he had possession and dropped the football. He gets that chance there, and Mr. Dorsey able to score. So congratulations to that young man on scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, and some good determination right there too, as he got initially stopped around the 2-yard line and just forced his way in.
Extra point is up. It is good, and with 5:51 left to go in the second quarter, it is now 35-0.
All right, and while we're waiting for the kickoff here, again, 5:51 left in the second half, a quick look at the Class 3A Top 10 rankings. Alcoa number 1, Westview 2, Covington 3, Sequatchie County 4, East Nashville, who we've seen and are very familiar with, is 5. Johnson County comes in at 6, Dyersburg at 7, Unicoi County at 8, Meigs County at 9, and Pigeon Forge rounds out the top 10.
Well, Scott, something else, too, I wanted to go over while we had an opportunity is we talked about the region. We've talked about Class 3A. Talk a little bit, too, about the county and the games that they have going on tonight as well. I've got Eagleton at South Green for a big-time regional matchup. The Royals 1-1 in region play. South Green 2-0. Greenback hosts Oneida in a non-region game. Greenback Cherokee's only one win this season, looking for win number 2. William Blunt at Dobbins-Bennett. That is a regional matchup. William Blunt 2-1. Dobbins-Bennett 3-0 in region play, so that could shake some things up. Heritage at Lenore City, that's a non-region game, and if the Mountaineers win, they could get to 500 as they're 3-4 for the year. And undefeated Maryville hosts Cleveland. That is a regional matchup as well. The Rebels 3-0, Cleveland 1-1 in region play. So kicked off a moment ago, and the Highlanders now with the ball.
Yeah, and a bad decision. It looked like, again, the receiver back there was going to catch it, backed off, thought maybe it would bounce into the end zone. It bounced straight up, and it bounced up high. He had to wait for it to come back down. By the time he was able to collect it, he had nowhere to go because there was a bunch of tornadoes down there on him.
The ball at the 11-yard line for the Highlanders. And they will hand it off to the right side to the running back. And hitting a wall as he looked to bounce it outside. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Holding with the carry. It's 2nd down.
Second down. Pivot, turns, gets the call from the sideline. Ten left on the play clock. He'll get the snap, he'll drop back, feels some pressure, starts to evade, he's got a man behind him, and then will just throw it away.
Yeah, and he felt the
Carter
heat.
Coward coming after.
Yeah, because he stepped back into the end zone and then realized he had someone coming up right on his backside and got rid of that ball fast.
It was the junior defensive lineman, Carter Coward, on the pressure, forcing Pivot to throw that football away. It's now 3rd and 10. Taking their time, trying to find the right play. It's going to be a keeper by Pivot. And really looked more, Scott, like a broken play.
Yeah, kind of similar to what we saw earlier in the first quarter, where it looked like the quarterback wasn't quite sure if he wanted to get rid of that ball or not, but we have an injured Highlander as he's trying to get off the field right now as they're switching over to the punting unit.
Yeah, it looks like Spradlin, the senior, is the one injured as he's kind of slowly working his way over to the sideline. He's got linemen next to him in case he needs some assistance as they'll escort him to the side. It's one of the seniors on this team that's been a big playmaker for them.
Yeah, and not only assistance, but probably encouragement to not stop and try to walk and let the cold weather mess with it, but kind of keep running and or at least jog off the field and just kind of keep working it.
So now the Highlanders will punt. They'll get this one away. Jacoby Cooper will back up. He'll field it out to 45. It is returnable, and there goes Cooper. Cooper to the 35. And will get tripped up and fall ahead at the 31-yard line.
Cooper on the return, Stanley.
But a good return for Jacoby. Puts Alcoa in really good field position with 3:50 left in the second quarter. And a chance, Scott, for another touchdown that could put them up 42-0 before the end of the half.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to slow down and kind of wait till he saw a spot and then hit the burners. Llewellyn had nothing to do with that as he was going to make sure he brought him down.
And Scott, we've got a new quarterback in the game. Thomas Manu now in at quarterback. Looks like Eli Graff's day may be done as Manu will turn. He'll get it out quickly, complete to Jameer Dean. Jameer Dean looks ahead and takes a defender with him past the 5.
Yeah, good pass from Manu and some really good running from Dean as he was able to just kind of work his way and push some of the defenders down as he was able to get that ball down to about the, looks like the 13-yard line.
13-yard line is where it'll be. First and 10 for the Tornadoes. 3:40 and counting off the clock here in the second quarter. 35-0 Alcoa leads. They're looking to see if they can extend it here. As Manu turns, he'll get the call from the sideline and brings it to the huddle. So slowly, Scott starting to trickle in some younger players. We saw some younger receivers over the last drive or two for Graff. Now they bring in the sophomore quarterback in Manu. Manu there hands it off. There goes Condis Cherry. Condis Cherry turning on the Jets, finding seams and ending up in the end zone for a Tornado touchdown.
Yeah, and Cherry did some sweet running right there too, cutting this way and that. And he uses that speed so well, but his eyesight is so good at finding that gap or that hole that he's able to cut through.
And just zigging and zagging his way into pay dirt. It's now 41-0, and Kyron Tyson getting ready for the extra point. Chase Lawrence to hold. There's the snap. The hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is money. 2:56 left to go in the second quarter. 42-0 your score. It has been all Alcoa Tornadoes so far in this ball game. It was something we anticipated would happen tonight and was certainly coming to fruition. But Scott, a couple things that I think are beneficial for Alcoa tonight and having a game like this. One, they get to work on some things early on, find some success, execute some plays, and then once they do that, they're able to get their guys off the field, prevent them from injury, and get them well rested, as next week is a big one.
Yes, it is. Doesn't matter what your record is. You could be 9-0, you could be 0-9, but when Maryville comes, you're ready to play.
And it's one of those games, too, that, yeah, it doesn't have any effect on region. They're not in the same classification, but it's that crosstown rival. And
Yes.
There's just really nothing like it. You think about the Tennessee-Florida game in college football last weekend. It's kind of got that feel between Alcoa and Maryville. It's a game that generations still talk about to this day from their time playing in it. And I cannot wait, as it's one of my favorite games each and every year. Scott, that kickoff by Tyson went out of bounds. It will be a penalty and help out the Highlanders.
Go out of bounds.
Yeah, and it'll be the best starting position for the Highlanders as well. And while they're gearing up here, a couple of things real fast. We got some scores. Farragut 10, Jefferson County 9 at the half. Gatlinburg, Pittman, and Johnson County scoreless at the half. That's a surprise.
It will be
South Green leading Eagleton 14-0 at the half.
At 35.
Oak Ridge trailing Bearden 14-6 at the half. Gibbs over Morristown East at halftime, 17-7. Oneida 21-0 in the second quarter over Greenback, and Powell leading Knox Central 17-0 at the half as well.
Decent little game between Maryville and Cleveland right now, 14-7.
Yeah,
one score game.
Stop by Eli Owens. There's enough yardage for a Highlander first down and 10 to go.
Also, Knoxville House 27-7 in the second quarter over South Dora.
Picking up trash, winning the six. For every pickup is a first down.
Oh, wait a minute, just saw. Also, Heath, you'll enjoy this one, and that's got to be some game right there if this is still in the first quarter. Heritage 35, Lenore City 0 is what is being reported still in the first.
Go Mountaineers. As Pivot rolled out to his left, felt some pressure, threw that football away. It's now 2nd and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line.
A game I find really interesting, expecting this one to be a little bit more lopsided than what I've seen, but at the half, William Blunt 7, Dobbins Bennett 7.
Wow. Good game there. I mentioned that one earlier. I believe William Blunt 2-1 in region play. Dobbins Bennett 3-0, so could certainly help the Govs out in the standings with a win. As now they'll turn, look to throw again as the Highlanders. This one is complete.
Pass complete to Gustine. Shot by Anthony Langford. It's third down.
This will make it a more manageable third down as Gus King came away with the reception and then escorted out of bounds by number 7, Landon Love of the Tornadoes. It's 3rd and 5.
Another close game going on right now. It's not a region game, but a good one for Kingston as they currently lead Meigs County 17-14 in the second quarter.
There's the snap. Pivot will drop back. He'll turn. He'll look and throw to his right. That one is complete to Spradlin. Spradlin with the first down and then out of bounds at the 39.
Yeah, it looks like Alcoa's defenders are backing off just a little bit on the receivers, where earlier they were on top of them. So Spradlin being able to get that ball in there and get it in quickly, utilizing that opportunity.
The Tornadoes starting to sprinkle in a little bit of youth here and there on that defense. And Scott County making the most of the opportunity as it is a first down for the Highlanders. Pivot will look to throw again. He's got pressure, has to get rid of it a little early.
And intercepted.
Is he able to bring it in?
Yes.
He is, as Jacoby Cooper comes away with the interception.
Yeah, Cooper just basically playing center field back there. Sees that floating duck, basically. He overshot the receiver, and he just waited on it, came down, got his hands underneath it, and was able to retain it as he came down with it for the interception, giving Alcoa the ball back at the 19-yard line of the Highlanders.
Second option.
Or Alcoa 19.
Second option. Still like my first one. But Jacoby Cooper, another name to throw in the mix.
Working hard for
Player of the game. I don't know if I want to take it away from Mr. Eli Owens having a great night. He's got 2 touchdowns, making impact plays.
So is Cooper.
But Cooper fighting for it. 1st and 10, Manu at quarterback. He'll turn, throw on the cut, and it's intercepted.
That was a tremendous play right there from the defender. I couldn't see his number, but he played that one.
13.
Yeah, he played that one great. Just read it, saw it just kind of float out there, cut in front of the receiver.
Yeah, Manu turned, just kind of read, kind of watched the receiver the whole way through, allowed that safety to watch his eyes, float towards that side of the ball, and then just jump the route. And so it was intended for number 5. That is Elijah Sadler, but it was Peyton Griffith who was able to jump ahead and get the interception. And now the Highlanders back on offense, and they'll run it on first down. It's a quarterback keeper by Pivot. Scott, they're going to have to continue to pick up the pace as we're under a minute to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it looks like just 3 yards on that, but they're spending an awful lot of time just for those 3 yards.
There'll be another keeper by pivot, and this time it'll be taken down in the backfield.
And we have a timeout by the Highlanders, Heath. So 39.1 seconds left. Alcoa leading 42-0 here in Scott.
Cade Stennett on the tackle for loss on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8 when we come back from the timeout between these two with 39.1 seconds to go. Scott, they're going to have to move away from running the football if they want to get some points on the board here.
Yeah, only 2 timeouts remaining, so you're going to have to be able to do something and do it quick.
I try to see if you could find a favorable matchup between a receiver and a DB on a young DB on the outside that maybe Alcoa has brought in, and see if you can kind of do one-on-one, kind of throw it up, see if you can go up and grab it and bring it down for a touchdown.
Do a little bit of that old stop and go, just kind of lull him in and then run past him. But then you got to deal with the safeties for Alcoa, and they get on that ball pretty quick. He threw it right to him.
And there he goes down the field.
Who is that?
That is number 15, Dell Hughes, and Dell Hughes with the touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know if the receiver wasn't looking, didn't realize what the actual play was or something, but he never turned around as he was able to. He passed the Hughes, and the ball went right to him. Good catch, and some really good speed, smooth all the way down, but he just outraced the Highlanders down the field.
How about that for the young man, being able to make a play and find himself in the end zone? Certainly a night he'll remember, and his family will as well. And now Alcoa looking to put the extra point up on the board and make this a 49-0 game before the end of the first half.
Yeah, it looked like Alcoa and Scott were just going to trade possessions there, and then Scott looked like they were starting to drive and just could not through. Just again, I think it was just miscommunication somewhere.
Well, what looked like a promising drive that was going to end the first half on a high note for the Highlanders totally gets flipped, and now Alcoa has a chance to just continue to pour it on before we end the second quarter. Man, what a turn of events.
And Tyson again is true as he gets it through. Now 49-0 as the Tornadoes lead with 22.7 seconds left in the second quarter over the Highlanders. So while they're doing that, and just go over a couple of little things here. Just he's a little bit of some playoff scenarios going on for Region 2 anyway. Kingston has obviously secured no worse than a second place finish. Alcoa will have to win out to take first because they still have Kingston at the end of the season. Then it gets a little muddy here as Union County has a win over Scott, but they still are going to have some favorable things going on with Austin East and Scott as well, as Elston East still has and needs wins over Scott and Union County. And then if Scott beats Austin East and AE loses to Union County, could really flip the script a lot. So still some heads turning as to which way, who's going to end up where in the third and fourth spot. But Alcoa and Kingston pretty much have the first two spots. And again, kick out of bounds by Tyson, going to give Scott the ball in very good, or at least good starting position anyway, but not a lot of time to do it with. So Scott, first down and 10 at the 35-yard line. Again, 22.7 seconds left as they come to the line.
So we'll see, Scott, if they just try to run the football and take it to half, and it looks like that is exactly what they will do.
With the carry, sought by Harris.
Harris on the tackle for a loss of 1.
That will be the final play.
And they'll let the clock roll. That'll be the end of the second quarter. So, Scott, the first half, all Tornadoes. The Scott County thought they had a little bit of life heading into halftime, and the Tornadoes were able to end that quickly. Quick assessment of the first half in your eyes.
Good for Alcoa, and obviously not so good for the Highlanders, but Alcoa just real methodical, just trying to get some points on the board. Every one of their drives in the first quarter went down and scored. And then a couple of interruptions here for Alcoa with an interception there late in the first half, in the first half, but then Scott returns the favor and throws it for a pick 6 to give Alcoa the bump they needed to get to 49.
Well, and one of the things I loved is that a lot of different players got an opportunity. Even some young receivers, while QB1 Eli Graff was still in, being able to catch the passes from him and make some plays on the field. So it's good to see a lot of these young kids get a chance to play tonight. How about Del Hughes wrapping up the first half with that interception back for a touchdown? Kudos to him. I hope to see many more of those from him in the future. But a great first half for Alcoa, and we've got 2 more left to go. We're going to take a break here on the show, and we'll be back for the final 2 quarters of action here at Scott County between Alcoa and Scott, and your score at the half, 49-0. We'll be back soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, those were the participants in the Little Highlander cheer camp from earlier this year who were out here accompanying your Star High cheerleaders during this performance. Welcome in this evening, thank them for their great performance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Star High School Marching Highlanders to the field. Work for the Marching Highlanders, Dr. Ryan Hoffman, assisted by Mr. Steve Rock, Ms. Mike Phillips. Marching Highlanders are under the field directions from Major Scarlett Wells. Section leaders this season are Jocelyn Floyd, Leah West, Dakota McBride, Hasty Hill, and Alyssa Burke. Tonight's show is inspired by the sounds of teenage angst, disillusionment, and rebellion. These powerful, conflicting emotions of teenage years have provided ample inspiration for songwriters as led to the creation of anthems such as Welcome to the Black Parade, exploring the anxieties of independence, the power whips of rebelliousness and smells like teen spirit, the intimidating lyrics of teenagers, the sting of self-loathing and teenage dirtbag, the humorous aspect of unrequited love and Stacy's mom. Drum Major West, your band ready.
Did for a moment earlier. She said, prediction might come true. Well, the good news is we're expecting out
Ladies and gentlemen, your marching Highlanders. Flags line on that. The Museum of Scott County will host our first Highlander Halloween from 5 to 7 p.m. on the 31st. Encourage everyone to come out for a movie, candy, and other treats, as well as a haunted house at the Highlander Halloween at the Museum of Scott County. Also, on November the 2nd, we will be hosting a fundraiser luncheon and auction to benefit Julie Manus. Lunch will be available beginning at noon. Silent auction will begin at 1. Those items in the gym. On Tuesday, Scott High School Cross Country hosted the Richard Maguire Memorial Run, presented by Takahata Precision and CTI Leonida Park. Your Lady Highlanders, led by Maya Sharp, finished 5th, a career best time of 25 minutes and 37 seconds, 5-kilometer course. The Highlanders, led by Landon Phillips, put a career best time of 21:57. Brother Matthew was right behind him, with a career best time of 21 minutes and 58 seconds. Their next race will be on Tuesday at the Alvin C. York Institute. The girls will begin at 5:30, boys to follow. Score of interest. In Kingston. In second quarter, McMinn Central has a 20-17 lead at Kingston. Last night in Region 2, Austin East picked up their first victory of the season, 14-13 at Pigeon Forge.
was it us? That was our social media body. She probably just got confused on that Condit little zigzag run she posted. Colton Cooper from Sunday. Oh, Jenny. I probably did it too, because she said everyone around me thought it was Colby. I said that I can understand how the 8 and the 6, the way they bunch up their numbers. So the best way to remember those two is Colby's got the dreads. Yeah, and he's tall. Around a minute. How we feeling? You ready to rock? I'll let Dad do some stats here in a second with Cole. Okay, bring us back in. Welcome back into the broadcast tonight between the Alcoa Tornadoes and the Highlanders of Scott. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel bringing you tonight's broadcast, and it is 49-0. That's right, 49-0 after the first 2 quarters of action. Getting ready to begin the third quarter here in a moment. But before we do, Scott, our man running things over there on the stats, Coulter, has the breakdown for us. I'm going to let you look over there and give us a little bit of those.
All right, Heath, thanks. 11 rushes, 126 yards for the Tornadoes, 15 and 19 in passing, 214 yards. Total of 340 total offensive yards so far, 7 of 7 in extra points. Eli Graff, 18 for 199 yards, 4 touchdowns. Thomas Manu, 1 for 2, 15 yards and an interception. I believe he had an interception earlier.
You are correct.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
I think Peyton Griffith who jumped that route.
Right. And so far, Micah Jones, 9 carries for 106 yards for the Tornadoes.
All right, Scott, well, thanks for those updates as well. And, Scott, got a question here on the social media about why the band for Alcoa didn't get to play in the first half. They will actually be playing post-game tonight. I believe Scott had a few other different activities already lined up for their halftime performance. They had the young girls and kids come out for the cheerleading. They also had their band perform. So I believe they just didn't feel like there was enough time to also fit in the Alcoa band. So the band will get an opportunity after the game. So post-game, once the game is over, you will see the Tornado band come out, and then they will play at that time. But, Scott, we talked a little bit about the stats earlier. You just broke them down there for us as well. Unless somebody just really comes out and changes my mind in a running clock in the final 2 quarters, I think we've got a pretty good chance that Mr. Eli Owens is going to be our player of the game tonight.
Yeah, looks like 4 catches, 51 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he's had a good quarter. Pretty much is more about what he's got to play tonight, as Alcoa started doing a lot of shifting and switching out early.
Well, and if he did that in 1 quarter, imagine what he could have done when he was really needed in 4. So a brilliant night for him. 2 touchdowns tonight. That brings him up to 3 reception touchdowns for the season. And now Chase Lawrence will get an opportunity to kick the ball away, and he will. It'll be caught at the 25, drop, pick back up. And here come the Highlanders breaking tackles, moving down the field past the 40, down near the 45. As the Tornadoes giving some of their younger players an opportunity in the second half. That tackle was made by number 35, Corey Emanuel, the sophomore tight end and linebacker.
Yeah, he was making sure he was going down, grabbed him by the back of the shirt, and just sling him out of bounds.
Will travel, first down and 10 for your Highlanders at the 43-yard line.
So the Highlanders will come out here and see if they can just kind of get some things going offensively in the second half. Really just, Scott, more than anything with this deficit, it's going to be pretty difficult to climb out of it. But if you're the coach and the team, you really just want to try to take some things you can build upon for the rest of the season.
Right. You want to look at some positives. What can you do?
Pivot will turn. He'll hand off the football to the right side, jumping over a tackle and continuing down the field to Spradlin. And Spradlin taken out of bounds. It'll bring up second down.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see Spradlin walking back to the huddle, looking much better. Last time we saw him, he was limping off the field, struggling to get off. It looked like he had a little bit of an ankle tweak or something, so I'm glad to see him looking much better.
Second down, 5.
2nd and 5 for the Highlanders, and 2nd and 5 no more, as they are able to get the Tornadoes to jump.
Yeah, and I know they're going to call this 5 yards on Alcoa, but from my viewpoint right here, the center moved the football. The Alcoa reacted to the movement of the football. The referee should probably have called that a penalty. Not against Alcoa, but against the Highlanders.
Yeah, that's true, Scott, because when you're on offense, you're always taught to watch the center and when it comes to making sure you don't jump. And so that's all Jermon Bishop was doing there. Saw the center make a move, and he took off right after him. But unfortunately, that will bring up a new set of downs for the Highlanders. They'll turn. They'll complete it on the outside to Spradlin. And that's another 5-yard gain, Scott. Just those really quick drop back, turn, out route. Boom, hitting their guy towards the sidelines to put it where only he can catch it and then get them some positive yards. So another good, quick play for Scott.
Yeah, and as long as you see the defenders playing back on you, that gives you that cushion that you need.
We'll pitch it to the outside and pick up a first down.
So if Scott continues to do what they've been doing, then they're going to at least get what you mentioned earlier, that they are averaging at least 6 points per game.
Yeah, it looked like it was Desmond Bowling, the junior, on the carry. He picked up the first down, and yeah, Scott trying to stay with their average offensively so far this year. As Pivot will turn, fake the handoff, Pivot on the keeper. He'll go ahead and drop to his knees after a 2-yard gain.
Stop by Emmanuel.
Emmanuel on the stop for the Tornadoes.
It's second down.
2nd and long. Bowling in the backfield with Pivot. In the pistol formation they go. They'll turn. They'll get the updated play call from their coach at the sideline as everyone looks over, gets set. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Pivot will drop back, look to the single side. He'll throw it down the field, almost intercepted. Instead, over the outstretched hands of the defender. And Spradlin right there to make the catch on the sideline.
21-yard line.
Yeah, like I said, as long as the defenders are playing off a little bit, Privet is finding that little opening and getting that ball down there and moving the Highlanders down the field.
First down for the Highlanders. Privet gets it. He'll hand it off. Up the middle goes the Highlanders, breaking a tackle, and he'll find his way into the end zone. And that's the senior Spradlin we just talked about a moment ago. Catching passes, running the football, doing it all for the Highlanders of Scott, and giving them their first touchdown of the night. Scott saw the lights they've got set up as well to celebrate a touchdown, flashing all around us. And so excited for them. We talked about coming into this game, this is a team that, even though they have not been able to pick up their first win of the season, we're seeing improvements of our first-year coach, Billy Hall. Last year, they got shut out in 3 games. One game, they only scored 3 points. So far in this season, in every game, they've scored 6 or more. So you're seeing some growth offensively from this team. You've got a good young quarterback in Privet, only a sophomore, and you've got a lot of playmakers on that side of the ball that are also sophomores and juniors. Now, Spradlin will be one they'll miss. He is a senior. He will be gone after this season. But, Scott, I would also argue their 2 best playmakers from what I read aren't even playing tonight. It was the 2, I believe, Bond brothers
injured last week.
That both got injured last week. And the crazy thing about it, you and I were talking about, is they're two brothers, two of the best offensive players for them, and each one got carted off by ambulance in the first and second quarter. Luckily, they both appear to be okay. From what we heard, it looks like one was an ankle injury, the other one a bruised spine, so it's going to take a little time to heal, but he should be back to the action. Don't know if he will be back on the field this season. If either one will, we wish them a speedy recovery. Certainly our thoughts and prayers with them, but they are just, once they're back, going to add more juice to that offense and allow them to continue to grow and develop. But the first touchdown of Scott of the night, it's 49-7 with 8:10 left to go in the third quarter. And now the young Alcoa kickoff return team waiting back for it.
And while they're doing that, Heath, real fast, just a quick little update right now for some Blount County info. Dobyns-Bennett has jumped out now to 28-7 in the fourth quarter over William Blount. Eagleton Academy now 20-28, still trailing South Green, but made it a much closer game.
All right, well, thanks for the update, Scott. We'll continue to keep you updated with some other scores from around the area as this game progresses and as we close it out later on tonight. We're in the third quarter. Mercy rule in effect with a 49-7 lead. It was the Islanders just moments ago that were able to punch in their first touchdown of the evening. And it's now the Tornadoes' young offense coming out on the field, as I believe it's the freshman quarterback into the ball game. Luca Dougherty, the freshman, 6'2", 180, getting his chance at quarterback. Dougherty will turn. He'll hand off the ball to Justin Lindsay, and Lindsay will take some Highlanders with him ahead. It'll be 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard gain.
Also at the half, Heath, Maryville 21, Cleveland 7.
It's 2nd down.
So Maryville's been able to kind of get another touchdown on the board. It's 14-7 earlier, so still not a bad game between the two, but the Rebels able to make it a 14-point lead now as a handoff up the middle for the Tornadoes. Lindsay on the carry again, and Justin Lindsay picks up the first down. We talk about the wealth of riches for Alcoa in the backfield. You've got Condis Cherry, Micah Jones, Jermon Bishop. Then you turn and give it to Justin Lindsay, who now enters the game, only a freshman, and got a very bright future. And you think over the next few years, with a lot of those young men, Scott, being sophomores, other than Lindsay. So for the next at least 3 years, we're going to be talking about all of these running backs out the Tornadoes have. I mean, I don't know how you stop them. They just continue to churn and burn, and they'll wear you down before they wear out because there's so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think you finally get one slowed down, all they do is just change him out, bring the next one over.
That was Jermon Bishop on that carry for Alcoa.
It's 2nd down.
It was a 7-yard gain. It's now 2nd and 3. The Tornadoes are just comfortable now, taking their time, trying to run some clock here and give their young team an opportunity to work on some things. It's the pitch out to Bishop. Bishop to the outside. Bishop cuts it back in. Gets his feet cut out from under him, but not before he picks up what I believe will be a first down here in a moment. Let's see if they signal it. And they will.
So enough yardage for Alcoa. First down and 49.
Where you normally see a quick stop of the clock with the change movement and so forth, it is a continuous clock. So like you said, he's just trying to get the ball down the field but keep that clock going.
There he goes again, and look at Bishop turn it on and pick up a first down. I believe that's going to end up being an 11-yard gain. It'll get him down to the 40. And it's kind of deceptive, Scott, for his size. He starts getting going. How fast he truly is. He's not a young man I'd want to try to tackle in the open field.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Cannon.
Yeah, Elijah Cannon, once he got going, he was hard to bring down as well. A locomotive. As Dougherty rolls out of the pocket, has to take off with it himself, and he'll fall ahead for a positive gain.
Yeah, saw nothing downfield, or at least nothing that he could get to without the defenders getting on him, because they were starting to get close to him. So he just made a good lunge out there and got a couple yards out of it.
So they're going to call it 2nd and 8, a 2-yard gain for Dougherty. Bishop in the backfield. In the pistol. Trips to the left in a bunch formation. Bishop with the carry. Bishop powers ahead. It'll be 3rd down.
Bishop with the carry.
It's now going to be 3rd and 5, so a 3-yard gain by Jermon Bishop.
It's 3rd down.
Bishop, one of those, Scott, that we haven't really gotten the opportunity to talk about the last few games, so really excited to see him get back in the ball game and get an opportunity. And this time he'll lead the way as he's going to lead the charge for the quarterback, taking off, and there goes Dougherty on the left side. And a good little QB keeper for Dougherty. So, Scott, the last time he ran with it, he had to because there was nothing open down the field. This time, he gets to take a page out of the Eli Graff playbook on a quarterback keeper around the left.
Yeah, looks really good at that.
For Alcoa, 1st down and 10 at the 21.
The only thing, though, with the kind of the hesitation and try to delay and then move around the other defender who's trying to get around was allow the other defenders that were giving Chase an opportunity to catch up with him.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Alcoa. Lindsey back into the ball game at running back. Dougherty looks to throw. He'll throw it on a slant route. It's complete. Caught and taken down. It'll bring up 2nd here in a moment.
Complete.
That was, I believe, number 85 on the reception. That was Luke Disney, the freshman wide receiver.
It's 2nd down 5.
One of the things, too, Scott, that I just really appreciate about Coach Nix and this Alcoa football team is when a game starts to get out of hand, they really try their best to get some of these younger players an opportunity. And I think because of that, not only do these kids get a chance to be out here on Friday nights and prepare themselves, but it's development, right? It gives them a chance to be able to take some things from a Friday night that maybe they normally don't get to, go back and watch tape of themselves, not just the other older players on the team, and then be able to know what parts of their craft do they need to work on and perfect before they get those chances on Friday nights full-time.
Well, also, how do you know how a player is going to perform if he continues to walk the sideline only? You know, you got to get them out there and give them an opportunity to show what they can do.
This one a designed quarterback keeper as he fakes the handoff to Bishop and takes it himself, and Dougherty will pick up a 1st down. So the Tornadoes looking to respond after giving a touchdown up a moment ago to Scott. They're now 8 yards away from pay dirt themselves.
And 1 minute away from the 4th quarter.
Yeah, there's probably a good chance if they don't score on this play, we may get to the 4th before they punch it in.
Well, they've been getting to the line with the clock still having a lot on the play clock left. So,
well, there goes Bishop, and we won't have to worry about it because
Exactly.
I believe he found his way in. Let's see where they spot it. I thought he did.
they're going to say about maybe the 1.5.
The half-inch yard line.
Bishop with the carry. It's 2nd down goal.
So centimeters away is Mr. Jermon Bishop, and he'll come up in just a moment. See if they're going to give him another opportunity to punch it in, or they're going to rotate out. No, they're going to bring him over to the sideline, and maybe Lindsey's chance to get a touchdown here as he comes into the game. But, Scott, that clock is running. I think they're going to get it off. I think they are going to run it. Yep, there's a snap. Dougherty will take off. He'll take it in himself. And that is a touchdown, Tornadoes, by the freshman quarterback, Luca Dougherty. And he responds and answers with a touchdown for Alcoa after giving up one moments ago to Scott. And as he scores, the play clock sounds. The buzzer tells us that it is the end of the 3rd quarter. So at the end of 3, 55-7 as we're now waiting for the extra point.
Yeah, it could be 56.
Could be. We'll find out here in just a second. Scott Kyron Tyson out, Chase Lawrence in. So the holder a majority of the time is now getting his opportunity to kick. And come on, Chase, let's boot this one through, young man. That kick is up. Come on, get in. Get in. And it is. Attaboy Chase, and Chase gets the extra point. And it's now 56-7. So happy for him to get his chance kicking. And he makes the most of his opportunity.
So now, as he said, 56-7, Alcoa now leads as we will get ready to start the fourth quarter as the teams are at the sideline getting instructions for the kickoff. Looking at some finals right now just popping up here. Wartburg 41 over Sunbright, 41-0. Both those just down the road from where we're at this evening. Maryville now 28-7 over Cleveland. Powell 31-0 over Knox Central. McMinn now extends their lead. McMinn Central 26-17 over Kingston. Oneida 31. Greenback 0 showing in the fourth quarter as well. Gibbs now 38-7 over Morristown East. Oak Ridge still trailing Bearden 21-6 in the third quarter. Another final, West Green falls to West Ridge 58-0. Unicoi County leading Claiborne 35-6. Eagleton still trailing South Green in the fourth now, still 28-0. And Gatlinburg-Pittman now leading Johnson County 7-6 in the fourth. That is a very important game in Region 1 3A.
Scott back to the action. The Highlanders on the kickoff return. Get it going down the field to the 50.
And that looks like Lucas Newport on the carry.
And it was the junior with a great return for the Highlanders and great field position yet again. That's the second really good return by the Highlanders here in the second half. Here in the fourth quarter, the clock will continue to run as we are under mercy rule. The senior Spradlin was the one who scored the touchdown in the last drive for the Highlanders. I'm sure we'll hear his name some more here on this one as well. Privet sends a man in motion. He'll hand it off. I believe that's the Newport to the right side on the jet sweep. He'll take off and pick up around 6 or 7 on the play and be taken down by number 1 of Alcoa. That is Malik McLeod, the junior defensive back. So it was Newport on the carry. And I believe they're going to call it a 5-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 5. Send a man in motion. Privet will get the snap. He'll hand it off to the left side. Looking for a hole, finding a small one, and then getting blasted by McLeod after picking up a yard.
Yeah, McLeod looked like he just waited, saw where he was going with it, and stormed forward. Put a stop to that run quickly.
Yeah, plugged up the gap. It's now 3rd and 4. Tornadoes look like they may be thinking bringing some pressure here. Going through the pressure and up the field is the running back for a good gain and a first down for the Highlanders. So Tornadoes kind of came from both sides on the outside perimeter, and the Highlanders instead went where they weren't, right up the gut, and picked up a first down.
Yeah, good fake to Newport as he cut across Privet, and then Privet just handed off to the running back coming up on his left.
1st and 10, ball on the 38. Full turn, take their time. They're getting the call from the coach on the sidelines. It is the head coach who's doing the offensive play calling this season, Coach Billy Hall. Privet will look down the field, throw a deep ball's got a man, and Spradlin just couldn't bring it in, Scott. He put it there for him. Spradlin had it in his hands. Scott, I think just saw Pater got a little too excited.
Yeah, he wants that one back. It looked like he got his hands up, but it just could not quite corral it there. But yeah, he would have had. Looks like he probably would have had 6 on that one. That was a good placement for the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, talking about that throw, it just really looked so effortless for Privet on the throw, too. It just looked like he just kind of flinged it, just kind of took his time, threw a nice and easy pass, and it ended up right where it needed to be. Spradlin just didn't make the play. And now Newport in motion will get it on the jet sweep and get taken down. It'll be a 3-yard gain for Newport. It'll bring up 3rd and 7.
It's third down.
Trips to the left, single receiver to the right, and a running back in the backfield behind Privet. Alcoa looks to show pressure. The quarterback turns, gets the call from his coach as they make the necessary adjustment. It'll be a pass down the field. It'll be, dropped again. This one not to Spradlin, but to another receiver, Scott, and it went right through his hands. It's now 4th and 7.
Yeah, just a little high. He tried to hit him quickly. He got his hands up, but just not able to get him up quick enough to get a good grip on the ball. Just went right through him.
Yeah, I was trying to tell who that one was. I think it was number 10, Gus King, who was unable to bring it down, the junior wide receiver. Will fake the motion, and now a running back screen that's looking to go for a first down and then some.
And it looks like he got it.
Good play call.
Yeah, it was.
They faked the handoff, had Newport coming behind him, then faked that. And that handoff that they had faked, the running back then just kind of peeled to the outside. The lineman released, and then it was set up perfectly as they were just waiting to lead the charge for the running back, and that picked up a Highlander first down. So good play development, good timing on the play as well for the Highlanders. And a 1st and 10 at the 23. They'll send Newport in motion. They'll fake it. Now they'll give it off to the running back. Breaks one tackle, spins off another. McLeod there to make the tackle after a short gain. And a hard-fought east and west run, Scott, for only a gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, he ran into an Alcoa defender who was trying to get to him, spun off of him. Then, as soon as he got cleared of that spin, ran right into one of his offensive linemen, and then tried to spin off of him. By then, Alcoa was on him.
So it looks like it was only a gain of a yard. It's now 2nd and 9 for the Highlanders. Privet will turn. He'll throw. A low throw as the receiver drops down to make the catch, and they'll say he did.
Pass from Privet. Complete.
And a couple of quick finals for you, Heath, as well. Sevier County 49, Daniel Boone 0. Eagleton has now gone final. South Green wins 28-20 over Eagleton. Tennessee 48-6 over Cott County as well. Again, we reported West Ridge over West Green 58-0, and Eagleton, or Gibbs now final 38-7 over Morristown East.
Another big win for the Gibbs Eagles. Staying
as they are now 8-0, and I think that is the first time they've ever been that in their history.
Nice. That one thrown down the field, broken up.
And that almost, I think, was broken up by his own one of his own receivers, because I think that ball was intended for Spradlin there in the back, and the receiver cutting across in front of him jumped up and tipped it away.
Well, may have been falling just a little bit short, but also give credit to the defensive back, the freshman, Lincoln Smith, who was also there to help assist, tip that one away and not allow Spradlin to get to the football. So with that incompletion,
so
it's now going to bring up, I believe, 4th and 7.
So it looks like we have a timeout as well. Well, we do. Powell 34-8 final over Knox Central. Wartburg again 41-0 over Sunbright. Those are the ones in the eastern area that we see. And see if there's anything in Division II towards Catholic or any of the schools down there as well. Take a quick look down here and see if we've got anything going on in that area, because I know Catholic does a lot of traveling to Middle and West Tennessee as well. Don't run across anything immediate right there as Scott now comes to the line again. 4th and 7 on ball on the 23. 5 minutes exactly to go.
Privet drops back, looks down the field, has a man in the end zone. Good coverage by McLeod. And, Scott, I think they're going to get McLeod for bumping the receiver off the route as they throw a penalty in the end zone. I didn't see much of one there.
I didn't see much of a, quote, penalty, but because basically the receiver's the one that looked like he turned into the defender. Defender kept his hands up, but maybe they're saying he never made a play for the ball.
So no matter what, Scott will go from 4th and 7 to now a fresh set of downs for the Highlanders.
After the penalty, it will be a half garbage will travel first.
So they're going to put that ball on the
half garbage will travel
10, I believe. I'm trying to see where that side judge is lined up at. So it looks like, yeah, from about the 9 or the 10.
Privet will turn. He'll hand off the football and gain a yard or two goes the running back ahead.
McLeod and Hughes with the stop.
McLeod and Hughes for Alcoa on the stop on that play.
And Scott got a notification a moment ago, and I appreciate the reminder. I was made aware that we didn't even post our trivia question at the end.
I actually thought about that late, but I think we had just started back on the air when I did.
So we'll try to get one of those posted up in the post game after our show, and so that winner can walk away with the prize pack that we've put together. As they'll throw this one in the end zone and dropped. As they had a man in the corner, he just couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, a lot of it's just these fingertip catches are just not falling right for the Highlanders.
It's now 3rd down.
The clock continues to work under 3 minutes now.
Send a man in motion, get the snap, turn. They'll try to run the football again, see if they can find some success and get their way into the end zone. This one will get them closer, and it'll bring up 4th and goal.
Spradlin with the carry.
It'll be Spradlin on the carry. Spradlin's the one who scored the other touchdown for the Highlanders. Can he get another? We'll see if they try to give it to him again here on 4th down.
And it looks like it's going to be 4th and 3. Or no?
It's 4th down.
Yeah, I was going to say that I heard the announcer say 3rd. I kept thinking 4th as well. It is 4th down now, and looks like 3 yards to go or goal to go, however you want to say it in this case.
There's the snap, rolling out his Privet, looking for a man. He's got one, and he makes the catch. A touchdown for the Highlanders, and Scott, I said, will they go back to Spradlin? And it looks like they did, as it looks like it was him who was able to dive, make the catch, and pick up his 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Yeah, and a good catch from Spradlin as well, as he had an Alcoa player draped all over him. Just could not keep him away from getting that ball.
So now they'll await the extra point with 1:48 left to go in the 4th quarter. So this will probably be the last scoring we'll see of the night between either team. As the kick is up, the kick is good. 56-14 your score, 1:48 left to go. Scott, I have to imagine the Tornadoes will get the ball back and either take a knee or run the football and just try to get out of here with the W.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see them doing anything different. The game's basically, you got a running clock, so just take you a couple snaps and go home with this one, and then enjoy the victory and get ready for Maryville next week. Also, another final just posted, Unicoi County 42-13 over Claiborne. Red Bank beat Bradley Central tonight 17-10. And currently right now, late in the 4th quarter, it's Heritage 45, Lenore City 0. So the Mountaineers having a pretty good season so far. Still going to have a tough game coming up with Knox Central here in a week or so. That's going to have playoff implications for both teams there.
Great job by the Mountaineers, though. Super proud of them tonight. It's going to be a great win for them. That'll bring Heritage back to 500.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't even glance down at the record, but yeah, it'll bring them 4-4 with 2 remaining.
Love to see the Mounties win with a winning record and in the playoffs. We'll take that. as a squib kick that's picked up and returnable to the 35. Trying to push ahead to the 40. He will not get there. Trying to tell what number that was on the return for Alcoa. That was number 85 on the return. Mr. Luke Disney, the freshman.
A good thought, good return.
What a great name.
I think he thought if he was able to split that defense just a little bit in that initial wave, may have been able to get some really good yardage out of that.
So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. 1:08 left to go. Justin Lindsay in the backfield with Dougherty. A loose football on the field, but don't worry, we got him.
They were trading out, and the referee just had a bad throw back to the other one.
Thought it was kind of like a fan on the field. The football just wanted to get in the action, jumped on the field. As Lindsay gets the carry, and Lindsay breaks through to the 50, past the 50, and it'll take the whole Highlander defense, and they'll bring him down.
Yeah, Lindsay put a pop on one of those defenders trying to come over and take him down. That other one just had him by the leg and was not going to let go. With less than 35 seconds left, the play clock hadn't even started with 40.
Don't even have to run one at this point.
So up to Alcoa if they want to run one more play or not.
I would just tell them to hang out in the huddle. Let's go ahead and call it.
It's like, okay, guys, what we doing after the game? Who's going to what pizza place? Where are we going? So Alcoa's just letting the ball go. They're not even going to go back up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to start heading back to their sideline as the Highlanders do the same thing.
All right, and that will be your final score. The Tornadoes win 56-14 here on the road. We haven't been on the road a whole lot this season, Scott, but this game is the first of a few where we'll be on the road. Now, Union County will be back at home, but our last couple games of the season, it was originally scripted, was supposed to be on the road with the Scott County game, the Maryville game, and the Kingston game all the way, and then we should be back at home for the start of the playoffs. But a huge victory for Alcoa tonight. A lot of players getting in on the action. A lot of the older players getting to do some things early and then getting to rest as they'll gear themselves up for one of the biggest games of the season next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Heath doesn't have any implication in playoff run, region run, or anything like that, but it is a pride game as it is crosstown rival Battle of Pistol Creek, as we will take on Maryville next week at Maryville. So looking forward to that. Also, as Heath mentioned earlier, join us at the Black Horse Pub and Brewery at 6 o'clock next Wednesday for, pardon me, for a pep rally there for the Maryville game. So we're looking forward to getting that as well.
And Scott, I'm on the wrong page, but I was just going to say one more time, Eli Owens' stats as he was named our Print FX player of the game. Eli Owens got a lot of opportunities early in the game as he finished with 4 receptions for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. So congratulations to Eli becoming our Print FX player of the game. His first player of the game this season, not his first ever, he's one of few, but his first this year. And I'm sure it won't be his last. So congratulations to him. Scott, final takeaway from the game tonight.
Good. Really, I'm trying to say what would you, well, no, trying to think of what word I really wanted to use, but it was a good game to kind of get back into it. You just got back from a bye week, and you had things that you wanted to go over and cover, which I think Alcoa did well. Kind of get back into a rhythm. Eli Graff was really on with his passes today, and had some good yardages with that as well. So a great game overall. Again, a good one just to kind of loosen you up a little bit from the off week and look for some things, get some younger players a chance to get out there and play and get ready injury-free for the Maryville coming up next week.
How about this? Execution.
Good job. That's what exactly.
There's your word.
There we go.
As the Tornadoes were able to execute at a high rate early in the ball game and allow their older players an opportunity to rest in the second half. But it was a lot of fun. And now they're able to kind of take their focus and move it to their big-time rival in the Rebels of Maryville High School next Friday night. But make sure before that ball game on Friday, you've got more stuff to tune in and listen to. As you mentioned a moment ago, Scott, at the Black Horse Pub and Brewery, we'll have Tornado Live next Wednesday night, and it's going to be a pep rally, and we're going to have the band, we're going to have the cheerleaders, a lot of the football players and coaches coming out, and we hope you will come out and join us as well, as we cannot wait to be able to interact with the crowd, have some awesome people on as special guests that we'll be able to interview, and you can catch that one also live on our YouTube channel as well. We hope you enjoyed the call tonight on YouTube. Just so you know, we're going to keep the camera up and rolling, as the Alcoa band will be coming out in a moment, and they will be performing post-game, as they were not able to perform at halftime, so they'll come out in a moment. They will perform. And also let you know that we didn't get to post our trivia question at halftime. We will post it in a moment on our social media platforms on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll see who's able to walk away with the win. Scott, any final updates for us before we close it out on the scoreboard?
Yeah, hey, take a look at the scoreboard right now. What we have so far showing Cherokee 38, Sullivan East in the third, Sullivan East is 0. Cosby 27-20 over Cloudland here in the fourth. Morristown West 35-7 over Davy Crockett in the fourth quarter. William Blunt 14, Dobbins Bennett 28, that is in the fourth. Happy Valley 45, Cumberland Gap 0, that is final. Farragut defeats Jefferson County 24-23, that is a final. The next few games I'm going to give you as well are now final. Johnson County comes back and defeats Gatlinburg-Pittman 14-7. Sevier County 49-0 over Daniel Boone. Again, Eagleton 20, South Green 28, Tennessee 48, Cott County 6. In the fourth, North Green 44, Unaka 6. Final, Claiborne falls to Unicoi County 42-13. Elizabethan final over a Volunteer 42-0. Westridge again 58-0 over West Green. Final, Bearden 35, Oak Ridge 6. Red Bank 17-10 over Bradley Central. Morristown East falls to Gibbs 38-7. Oneida defeats Greenback 31-6. McMinn Central 28-17, still showing in the third on that one over Kingston. Powell defeats Knox Central 34-8. Pardon me, folks. 28-7, Maryville in the fourth leading Cleveland. Alcoa again 56-14 over Scott tonight. Hall's leading South Doyle 27-7. That is still showing second. I'm sure it's been updated. It's just not coming through yet. Wartburg 41-0 over Sunbright. And Friendship Christian at half showing 16-13 over York Institute. Again, we mentioned Heritage defeats Lenore City 45-0. Meigs County 42-7 leading over Polk County. So looking to see if I saw anything closer to home here. And that pretty much looks about what I can find so far here tonight. But a lot of really good games, and a lot of games that still had implications for playoff positioning as well. Another one showing in the third. This is out of Middle Tennessee. It's Middle Tennessee Christian 21, the Kings Academy 14. And there's one too, halftime showing Lipscomb Academy 23-3 over Catholic.
All right, Scott, well, thanks so much for that update on the scoreboard, and thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in to the broadcast tonight. It was a pleasure being able to bring the game to you. We always enjoy doing this, and we couldn't do it without all of the great people that help make this happen inside the booth, outside the booth, and we appreciate all of the great sponsors as well that allow us to broadcast this. So another great one for Alcoa, and now it's time to shift their focus to the crosstown rival in the Battle of the Pistol Creek. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel. Your final score 56-14. Until next time, we say so long, good night, and yes, that just happened. How many jerseys have been retired for Alcoa Other than them doing it, I mean, but yeah. I don't think so. Tim's leaving all this job because the band's coming out. So I'm just going to pack up all our stuff. We need more help with because I'm sure he's probably going to take down all this stuff. So we'll probably so you're good. You guys just get out of here. No. Yeah, no, you're totally fine, guys. Y'all have anything planned this weekend? I like that jacket. The jacket looks warm. Yeah, hopefully it's warm, but yeah, just in case. Yeah, see ya.
Introducing the 2024 Alcoa High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Russell McCurdy and Zach Alegria. They are under the field direction of drum major Jahoya Green. Band captain is Ben Collins. Lieutenant is Landon Fields. Drum captains Dane Lynn and Jonathan Hernandez. The front and ensemble captains Lila Marnell. Color guard instructors Lisa Carver, Katie Bush, Riley Carver, Skylar McCammon, Gabby Puckett, and Bryce Ross. The percussion instructors David Scott, Eli McMahon, Faith Gray. The 2024 Alcoa High School Marching Band will be performing their fall show, Sweet Dreams. Drum Major Hernandez, is your band ready?
As I go to sleep each night, I close my eyes and drift away, floating high above the clouds. In my dreams, I'll run and play. In my dreams, I like to play, imagine, and explore. I let my mind take me places I've never been before. With my head resting on my pillow, I let my dreams take me away. In my dreams, what lies ahead may not be what it seems. When the darkness comes out to play, in my dreams, I'll run away. For a while, I feel like I'm going to scream. I want to wake up now, escape this scary dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Alcoa High School marching band.
Tim, we're still here if you want to help. We can help you break down.